Welcome to The Clown is Down, where you can get mad at us for our opinions. This is Keith.
And I'm Pete.
And in each episode, we will be bringing out our innermost feelings about a wide variety of subjects, from action figures to crosswalks,
Movies to beluga whales.
So sit back and give us a listen.
Remember, we're doing this for you.
Double remember, it's just an opinion. All right, here we go. Welcome to The Clown is Down. Welcome to The Clown is Down. Welcome to The Clown is Down. This is Keith.
And this is Pete.
And it's time for a new episode. We missed the first last month. It was
January's kind of a blur.
Yeah.
It's kind of we're getting our podcasting legs back on and going to get back to regular episodes.
Yeah, we're on top of it now. Just had some downtime and
contract negotiations and rewriting of scripts and setting up the new season.
Yeah, but today we're going to talk about remakes and reboots.
Remakes and reboots.
Yeah,
movies, TV, everything.
Well, for me, I was just going to talk about a couple movies, but like just the difference between the two.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Now, here's I'm just going to go a couple little definitions on it because it's a remake is usually takes an older movie and uses a new cast to tell the same story, but may alter the theme or setting.
A remake.
Now,
so it's not a shot for shot. It takes the initial idea and makes several changes.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess
Okay.
it just.
All right.
I guess for me, what that says is it just updates it for the time. You know what I mean? It's the same story,
brings
same
the story
setting.
up to date.
Yeah, and it feels like these two are so similar, but there is a difference.
Okay, because that's what I was feeling. These are super duper similar, and
yeah,
I guess you have.
But there is a difference. Yeah, Reboot is taking it back to the beginning with a different take and a different cast. A new start to an established fictional universe. A reboot discards continuity to recreate its characters and plot lines and backstory from the beginning.
So it retells a story, but say from a different point of view, or they could change points of views, character arcs, things like that.
Yeah, nothing that happened beforehand has happened. So like the movie.
The reboot is like it never happened. The original story never happened.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's I think what it comes down to. I was looking at what the first remake of a movie was, and I was expecting like something from like the 50s or 60s,
30s, 40s, 50s.
No,
maybe, a Walt Disney or something.
Let's take it back to 1895.
That's not.
No, that's where we're going because that's what it is. 45 seconds is what this film is.
I think we need to I think we should start our film histories a little further ahead in time.
You could
I think we should reboot.
I watched this right before we got on because I watched both of them.
Didn't take long.
I can't even pronounce it. It's La Rasur arose. Translation: the waterer, or the sprinkler sprinkled. And
we don't need to do any more of these 45-second.
They're each. So one was made in 1895, and then they remade it in 1896, and it's actually one of the very first comedy slapstick films too. And it's all it is a guy hosing his garden with the water, and some like Dennis the Menace character walks up behind him and steps on the hose. And then like he looks in the hose and then he lets go of it and it sprays him in the face. He turns around, there's a kid, and he grabs a kid and he beats the shit out of him and
beats him, puts him to work at a coal mine.
No, he just spanks him. It's really weird too. It's very weird, like the way he does it. It's like, guys. But then there was they remade it a year later, that film, I guess, because at that time that was what they had for scripts, and like, hey, let's.
Well, paper was kind of rare back then, so.
But I had a good laugh watching it. I go, my God. But then again, it made me think again. I was like, man, just how old films are, like it's just,
Yeah,
I don't
they
know.
were,
It's just cool. Like that you would go to the theater, or I don't know how they showed that. Like, because it's only 45 seconds. I mean, I guess there was like several of them. I don't know.
I'm guessing they no film historian, but I'm guessing they showed several. You got to see several quote unquote movies. Yeah, I guess it was different. I guess that's where you went for your news. You went to the movie house and you'd watch a show, like a play or whatever, and you'd watch newsreels and stuff like that up until the 1950s. They were still running newsreels.
I mean, it's just wild,
That is crazy. That is crazy.
But then, so I looked up the first reboot, and I was like, just trying to find. And again,
swear to God, if you go to the 1800s,
no, actually, the number surprised me. So some say it's the 2008 Incredible Hulk
as a remake,
reboot.
Oh, reboot. Okay,
First
so
reboot,
like the modern day.
Because it was 5 years later after the other one, and it fit all the it checks all the bells and whistles.
Okay, I
like,
guess.
Yeah, so it's saying like
we're taking this franchise.
They got rid of the other one.
Forget it. There's got to be something else.
There is, because I didn't believe it either. Because I was like, that's what I kept seeing popped up.
That's a dumb website you went to.
Yeah, well, several of them that was saying that. Like, but then I found 1984's Return of
the Jedi. No. Return of what?
Godzilla.
Yeah.
Return of Godzilla. It checked all the boxes, fit the profile. It ignored all previous films and just started from the beginning.
I gotta think there's got to be something even before that.
There might be. I haven't really.
I mean, yeah.
I was diving into it, and I
want to find those people that made that Incredible Hulk website and just smack them in the head. That's no research being done. So, Red Dawn. That was a remake.
Was it?
Well, there was the original 1984 Red Dawn.
Well, we're talking about a reboot on this, not a remake.
Oh, okay. That was a. See, this is. I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna get confused left and right.
Yeah.
So Red Dawn was a reboot because the original 1984 was when the Russians came in, blah 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 blah, and then they rebooted it to be like the Koreans or something different. It was totally different.
Oh yeah.
It was Red Dawn in name only. So
I thought you were saying the original Red Dawn was a
so reboots are in name only, I guess, is what we're talking about here. Okay. Would that make every James Bond movie a reboot?
No,
every time they change James Bonds.
Yeah.
Would it be considered well, I guess they've never answered the who is James Bond question.
Yeah.
Is it a name or is it an actual person? So what about we're gonna bring back one of our favorites. Batman. Is Batman a reboot? From like Batman 66 to Batman 89? And then even from 89, Tim Burton Batman onto the Dark Knight.
I bet to me it seems like it is, because they always have to start over with the origin story.
Right. So we always have to get
we always got to see the shooting in the alley.
Same with Superman. We went Superman, Man of Steel. So I guess reboots. I guess with franchises like that, you have to reboot them every once in a while, because your main characters are going to get older. Your core characters, you're not going to be able to use them as much moving forward, because I guess Batman always has been recast. God, how many times in the DC universe? Several times. So, yeah, I would imagine superhero franchises get rebooted often, but I don't think anybody cares. I think that's one of those where people just don't care.
Which ones do you think that are billed as reboots that just destroy? Like, you're just like, dude, what are y'all thinking? Like when when they come out.
Personally, I am not a fan of Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. I never have been. I don't think he's a good Batman. But that's just me. I think he's a great superhero. I think they're great superhero movies. I just don't think they're good Batman movies. Personally, that is my personal opinion.
I'll say out of the three he did do, the middle one, the one with Joker, I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
they're all good. They're all
then again,
good.
But then again, I only like the scenes with the Joker. Honestly, like I was like,
I know,
I want more of this.
when did Batman get so dark? And I know Batman's not he's not the happiest of characters. I get that. You know, his parents died, he turned to, but when did he get so, when did the idea of Batman get so dark and brooding? Because we had his origins and he seemed to be living a pretty good life. Like in the old comics, Bruce Wayne was still a millionaire, billionaire, and still living that life. And then, like the Killing Joke, like the late '80s comics, just started going off the rails with Batman. Just had to be just the darkest, angriest. I don't know, man. I'd like some more levity back into Batman. I think the animated series tried to give him to show both sides of it because it was cartoon for kids, but they still wanted to show this, the Dark Knight, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think that was the last attempt at making Batman, I don't want to say likable, but less dark.
I think with the movies, it was just like one of those, because after the whole Joel Schumacher stuff, like, it just had to, like, they just going, dude, this isn't working. We just had bat nips and a bat card, and like,
it was a bit much. Yeah, I guess we
gotta do something.
But wouldn't it be great to have a Batman that just isn't pissed about everything? I mean, like, I get it. I really do. Like, I do get it. I just don't. He doesn't have to be angry about everything. We don't need all this darkness in movies. Lighten it up a little bit. Come on, man. Lighten it up.
No shit.
Have a good time. Have a good the new Batman movie that's coming out. I have like zero interest in it. I
haven't even seen a trailer for it yet.
There's a couple of trailers. The poster came out. Visually stunning. It looks fantastic. I just think I am Batmaned out. I'm really just Batmaned out. I need a break from the Dark Knight. I would rather have 3 Robin movies or Nightwing movies where they just mention Batman. Than have one more Batman.
Get to the characters, side characters.
We got it. I heard his parents die, and he gets pissed about that and goes and does things. What are some quality remakes?
Quality remakes.
True Grit was one.
Oh, True Grit was good.
Yeah, that was almost like a shot for shot.
Yeah, True Grit was a great one. I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was. I like a good cowboy movie. I'll admit.
I'm with you on that. I am totally a fan of any Wild West.
I can't wait until that genre, because the industry ebbs and flows, and when something hits, like everybody jumps on it. I cannot wait until the cowboy genre comes back around again, and we get like good like big budget cowboy movies. I'm like, I can get on board with that.
I remember when the wife and I watched True Grit, and when the mountain guy came down with a bear on his head, that hat, she looked at me and goes, "You're jealous of him, aren't you?"
Damn right I am.
Like, yes, dude. I love that character.
What man wouldn't be?
He just mumbled, he just stared.
Bear hat.
Wouldn't
it be great, like if when the cowboy genre comes back around, everybody like adopts all the. I'm not talking about like.
But what do you think a police officer would do if you were like going down the road just on your horse? And like
it happens. Have you not seen? I used to see there's guys in Midtown that do it all the time.
No.
There are people in Atlanta that ride horses all over the place, like legitimately just ride. Fuck, you're just driving down Northside Drive and there's a dude on a horse, and you're like, I'd like to think this is weird, but one, this is Atlanta, and 2, this is Atlanta.
I mean, do you think like they would still do that, like the bridle straps, like just throw it like aimlessly over like whatever thing? They do. Dude, you got to look this up. I'm gonna lock up the horse at least, like boot or something.
Who's taking a horse? No one. Listen, because, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm sure 50,000 people have thought about it. They're like, that dude just left his horse outside. I'm gonna steal it. But then for the first time in these criminals' lives, something goes through their head, and they're like, "Hey, what are you going to do with a horse?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't know how to ride it, and then I'd be stuck with a horse. I can't just let it go." So then they're like, "No, I'm not going to steal the horse," and then they just walk away. And dude comes out and mounts his steed and rides off into the sunset or sunrise or Midtown or wherever.
Speaking of when you're talking about Batman, like remake, I was looking up something. Apparently, like it's one of the top remade films of all time.
Yeah.
It's see.
Think of how many Batmans there have been. And not just like, I'm not even talking like the animated shit. I'm talking just straight Batman actors. You got what? 66 Batman. What's his name? Adam West, Michael Keaton,
Val Kilmer.
Yeah. And
George
Clooney.
George Clooney. Christopher Nolan. Oh, not Christopher Nolan.
Nolan's Dark Knight.
What's that guy's name? Shit.
Yeah, him.
That guy.
What's his name? I don't know.
American Psycho.
Why can we not think of these actors' names?
I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of his name?
Fucking Boston guy. Directed Argo.
Was in Mallrats. Ben Affleck.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Jesus Christ, how do we forget Ben Affleck's name? Ben Affleck. And then there's been so many others.
And Robert Pattinson's the next one.
Yeah, so many, man.
That's 8.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure I'm sure someone will call us out on our poor Batman knowledge. It's not poor Batman knowledge, it's poor actor knowledge. We don't know these actors. We like the stories, not the people.
Yeah. Oh, one that has 9. That's apparently the first thing I saw was the number 1 is A Christmas Carol, which kind of makes sense. I mean, Christmas movies get made.
Yeah, that'd be a remake though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, we're talking about remake.
That'd be a remake instead of a reboot. But Batman would be I would say Batman would be a reboot because they're telling different stories. A Christmas Carol would be a remake because they're telling the same story again and again and again.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is there?
Like a bad. Ben-Hur. I didn't realize had been remade like so many times. Like 2016, I remember that one, but I didn't know that like
they remade it in 2016. When I think of Ben-Hur, I think of the like
Charlton Heston.
Yeah, Charlton Heston. That is the only Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize they remade.
Yeah, there was one in 1925, and then there was one in 1907.
You know what? I've seen pictures of that because the sets they did were like crazy. I guess I didn't realize that was Ben-Hur. But yeah, the sets were like amazing. They had like hundreds of extras in those. That's awesome.
And you know, one remake that they keep doing and it keeps winning awards is on each time they made it is A Star Is Born.
Yeah, that's been done like 3 times now.
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a cash cow, man. They should.
Yeah.
They should just keep that in their hip pocket and like maybe once every 5 to 7 years bring that out. Are there any movies you'd like to see rebooted or remade that they haven't done?
Yes, there is. I would like to see Soylent Green.
That's crazy you mentioned that. I was looking for a streaming version of that just the other day. I think you're right. I think because that takes place in 2022.
Yeah. Soylent Green would be, I think, with the way we could film now and the technology and stuff like that, I think that could be done really good. But of course, my brain already says make a TV series. You know what I mean? Like, you know, have it.
I think it would be a good series. I think it really would. Yeah. I think you could delve a little deeper into that world, and I'd get to see more of the Scoops trucks, and I like those.
Yeah. Now, one they did.
God, that had such a depressing ending. Well, reboots. What did you think of the Ghostbusters reboot?
The Afterlife?
The reboot. The
one
reboot.
With McCarthy and all that.
You can be honest.
Okay, so when we went and saw it, my first thought was I didn't like it. Like I mean, I did have some chuckle moments in it. You know what I mean? I laughed, but like overall, it just didn't. Instead of like flowing like the way the first Ghostbusters did, like how it just, you know, the movie just flowed and like you kind of were along for the ride. It was just like, okay, it just felt like here's this scene. Okay, now we got to do this. Now we got to do this. Now we got to do this.
It felt like they built a movie written around blocks of jokes.
Yeah.
And I went into it and I really wanted to like it. I still want to like it. I watched it and I watched it again, and I didn't dislike it for the reason the internet dislikes it. You know, I'm such a fan of the first two Ghostbusters. They're all the original Ghostbusters now. You're right. It felt like they came up with this list of jokes and they kind of molded this movie around these predetermined jokes. And it had such potential. It really did. They could have, it should have been a spin-off of the original Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Instead of,
exactly.
And I'm glad they were in it. I'm glad they all got cameos, and that was super fantastic. But what it should have been was a complete spin-off. It should not have taken place in New York City. It should have been in like Chicago or Los Angeles or London or anywhere else but New York City. And it should have been these people who were fascinated with the original Ghostbusters. And they were like, oh, but nothing like that could ever happen here. But if it did, we could handle it. And then have something happen, and then have the original guys be like, hey, good job, girls.
Yeah.
You're the new branch over there.
As I was going to say, it should have been their West Coast office.
Yeah.
The
West Coast Ghostbusters. Yeah.
There you go. And exactly. And
and then they could have even been referenced in the new movie and said, oh yeah, we had to shut down all of our offices, including Chicago, Los Angeles, wherever, blah, 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 blah. But once again, the movie industry failed to, I don't think they have my number.
What about you? You got any right off your head?
It.
I only saw the first one of that. I haven't seen the second chapter of that yet.
And it's more of a remake than a reboot.
Yeah.
I liked the original one, and I'm not a Stephen King fan like other people are. Stephen King never floated my boat, but I liked Tim Curry as a clown. Tim Curry as a clown was legitimately terrifying for me.
Yeah.
Because he was just a clown. He wasn't a spooky, scary alien clown at first. He was just a normal looking clown that could have been any clown in any circus anywhere in the world. And that was straight up scary. And the new one, I know why people liked it. And the clown, it was Pennywise was great. And, he looked cool, but I don't know. I like the original because I'm an old crotchety old man.
Yeah.
I like my original stuff.
Well, I think I've said before.
And Tim Curry.
I just didn't like. This might be rehashing something old, so I don't want to stick on it too long. But I just want to say it real quick. The Halloween, you know what I mean? Right. Halloween. I just said it before. No. Go back and listen to old episodes.
Old podcasts.
Yeah, I just.
The implication is always going to be scarier than the actual act. It's always going to be scarier. When your mind has to fill in those gaps, it's always going to be scary.
And so it's kind of hard to say like that with a remake and reboots on horror movies.
It really kind of is.
It's like it almost is like the Batman syndrome. Like it's just.
And I think like you said, I think we have covered all the horror movie stuff in our previous podcast, which can be found on our Spotify page. That like Michael Myers, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those kind of Jason, Freddy. There's a lot of blurry lines there where they do count some stuff from previous ones, even when they're completely remaking and starting brand new. I don't know. That's a fine line. Horror movies, I think on this conversation, horror movies in general get a pass because they play fast and loose with their own rules. So I think they do what they want. You can't really count them. So forget what I said about it. Just completely disregard that.
Is there any movies you want to see remade?
There are movies that I think I want to see remade. I'm excited for things like Fantastic Four and the X-Men and new, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think now that they have a now that they have a path or an idea of kind of how they like to mold things and work it all, intertwine everything, I think that'll give them a better roadmap for making these movies. As we've seen historically, Fantastic Four movies are trash. No one has done it yet, and I don't think Disney's going to let that happen again. I think they're going to break the curse. And X-Men are great, but they kind of got lost and they rebooted and revamped things along the way themselves. And I think, like I said, with Disney at the helm of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm looking forward because like I said, they know they have an idea of an end goal that they're gonna use it with. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And there's always stuff. I'd love to see movies from a different point of view, from a character's different point of view. I think I'd be interested in that. I'd love to see filming two movies from two totally different points of view about the same thing. And I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool, like a battle or something. And apparently it's been done. There's the Sansa Iwo Jima, and then there's another movie that were done like that. They were shot at the same time. So the battle sequences were shot from different points of views, but it was one battle. Like they filmed one battle.
That's cool.
From 2 points of view, and one was from the Japanese soldier's point of view, and one was from the American's point of view. I was like, oh, that's really cool. I've yet to watch it, which is I need to remedy that. But I'd like to see. I think that'd be cool. Like I think with the way they film movies now, I think it could be done. I think that would be a niche thing, especially for one of the bigger streaming services to do. Even with their shows now, they could do one episode from one point of view, do the same episode from a different point of view, and it could be a completely different. It would change the way that the whole story is laid out. I think that would be pretty neat. I think that'd be a neat way to do stuff.
Yeah, and if they do something like that, like say like if it's a superhero movie, God, I kind of get annoyed with is like when they start to do something like that, and since it's the main character, like in a movie, they want to give like the villain this like. They want the audience to be like he has a heart of gold or something like that deep down or something.
Yeah,
can we just make him the villain?
Yeah, that's when I watch a World War II documentary, there are good guys and bad guys. I don't necessarily feel bad at all for the villains in those things.
Yeah,
I think now after we were talking about the Avengers and talking a lot about Marvel and stuff. I think now people are like, well, maybe Thanos wasn't that terrible. I'm like, no, dude, Thanos was bad. He was bad. Thanos, what he did was bad. He murdered half of the galaxy. He did not give those people choices. What he did, it's great if he had these ideas of wanting to, curb populations and stuff. There's ways you go about that. There's incentives and tax breaks you offer. You don't just annihilate them. You don't go out of your way to create or capture mythical gemstones and just eradicate them. That's not how you do that.
What movie would you never? No, you cannot remake this.
I have a list of them.
I think my number one's Jaws.
Really?
Jaws. I mean, that's just one of the first ones.
They made the Meg.
That's totally different.
I would say Back to the Future.
Oh.
I would say Indiana Jones. I would say Star Wars. And just to round that off, I would say Die Hard. The original Die Hard.
Yeah.
I don't care what you do about that.
The sequels.
Yeah, they don't really count. I would never want the original Die Hard to be remade. I think that's one of those. I don't think it's a Christmas movie either. I think it's just a movie that takes place during December.
I'm with you on that.
I don't call it a Christmas movie.
I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah. I wish people would stop saying that. That's dumb. But I would never want that particular. I don't want that remake.
Yeah.
I think Zemeckis has something like in his estate that Back to the Future can never be remade. Like whoever owns the rights has to say that it can never be remade. It can't be repurposed, remade. I don't think any sequels can be made to it or anything. I think he's like, we told this story, the story ended. Don't touch my stuff. So, which is good. I'd like more directors to kind of throw that clause in, or creators to throw that clause in. So yeah, is our clown down for any reboots or remakes?
I can my clown's down saying that reboots and remakes, they can be good and they can be bad.
I think we don't have a definitive clown down on any of them because some are good, like you said, some are good, some are bad. It depends on your source material. It depends on who's doing it, who's acting, who's writing, who's directing. I think we can ease up on Batman. I think it's time to ease up on Batman. I think there needs to be a moratorium, and but I think if we went 10 years without one, we'd be okay. It depends. I think our clown can be down on. It depends.
Yeah.
On many different variables. Some good, some bad, some are okay, some are not. Less Batman.
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
That worked out well.
God, there's so many other ones I was thinking of. I mean, we're done now, but
it's they're flooding in. I know I'm going to be laying awake going, oh, I could have said this. I could have said this. I could have said this.
Well, because I want to talk about on another episode coming up. I want to.
You think we're wrong, or you think our clown should not have been down? Let us know why. Let us know why we're wrong, or you think we're wrong. Because remember, these are our opinions.
That's right. Tastes best after mowing the grass.